Call to order. Get that recording over there? Cool. Town of St. John Board of Zoning Appeals for April 17th, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sergeant, can we have a roll call, please?
Bob Rolson,
Here.
Yolanda Cardona,
Here.
Drago Popovic,
Here.
Brendan Sheeran,
Here.
Mark LaRue,
Here.
Attorney Adam Decker,
Here.
Councilman Liaison Brian Blazak, and Town Manager Joe Wizawati.
Present.
Thank you. Next in the order are minutes from March 2023 Board of Zoning Appeals regular meeting. I don't believe I've received those in the packet. If they were, I didn't read them, so I would have a motion to take a motion on those minutes to defer. Thank you. Defer to the next meeting we have.
Motion to defer March 20th, 2023 Board of Zoning Appeal regular meeting minutes.
Thank you. Bob, you have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next on the agenda, public hearings. Not sure why that's on there. Nothing on that. Number 6, new old business. 2023-04 developmental variance from St. John MC 24-82 in sequence to St. John MC 2495D4 to allow addition to the current home that will encroach into the rear yard setback by approximately 12 feet at 12945 Lily Red Way, St. John, Indiana. Gary Longoria, property owner, Joseph Swetnoff, attorney.
Good
Hello,
evening.
Mr. Swetnoff, how are you?
Great, how are you tonight?
Good.
Excellent. We're back again before you to, I think off of our end, maybe supplement the record a little bit. Additionally, maybe have some testimony from the crowd in terms of the project itself. First of all, what I'd like to do is I'd like to approach you as president at this time.
Chairman.
We have, I'm
I'm
sorry,
not president.
I was upgrading your title.
Okay. Mr. Kennedy always did that, too.
At this time, what I'm tendering to the BZA is a petition that Mr. Longoria has circulated.
Thank
Any of his neighbors in and around his residence are in favor of the project itself and what it'll bring to their property values and the community at large. Yes. Thank you. So, yeah, I give the original to Mr. Longoria.
Okay.
Again, my name's Joseph C. Svetnoff, law firm Kaka Pincus located in Crown Point, Indiana. We're of course representing Mr. Longoria tonight, the petitioner in this matter who resides at 12945 Red Lily Way within a preserved subdivision. I had went through the facts and circumstances of this matter before. Would you like me to go through it again, or does everybody remember?
Mr. Decker, what's your opinion on that?
Well, Mr. Chairman, in my opinion, if council wishes to review items as part of the application, I think it certainly may
Okay.
be considered by the
Okay.
board this evening.
That's what I was leaning towards, but I didn't want to go through it, so we didn't have to, so.
Right, no problem. We are here tonight to discuss the parcel of property I just mentioned above. The petitioner is seeking a developmental variance to allow an addition to his current home that will encroach in the rear yard setback by approximately 22 feet. The addition to the house that we are discussing is a 1,750 square foot addition, which will connect directly to the current home. The addition will feature living space, a bathroom, a shower area. Furthermore, the outside to this addition will match the existing house with character and style of the neighborhood at large. We are of the opinion that this variance approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and welfare and morals, comfort, and general welfare of the town as this simple residential addition will conform to the look and style of the present existing structures and actually increase the assessed value of the houses in and around that area. Second, the use and value of the area adjacent to the residence included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, as again, this is a simple residential addition that will conform to look and style of the present existing structure and neighborhood and actually increase the assessed value of the houses in and around the subdivision and St. John. Third, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property, as without the variance, the petitioner will not be able to construct this residential addition that will again conform to the character and nature of the subdivision and increase the assessed value in the houses in and around that area. Furthermore, you have received approval through staff, as we discussed last time with Mr. Mendoza, and we have Mr. Longoria here tonight to answer any questions about the proposed project itself. Moreover, we have received approval through Jack Slager, the representative for Schilling Development, which is the developer of the preserve subdivision. Finally, we have tendered a petition circulated through the preserve subdivision supporting this project. And we have a realtor with more than 30 years of experience here with us tonight that sells homes in and around that subdivision and is ready to discuss the positive effects of the project on the community at large. So that's my presentation. What I'd like to do now is call up Miss Nancy Frigo to discuss with you the preserve subdivision and the effect this project will have on the area at large.
Just want to make a correction on the, what I read earlier said 12 feet, it's 22 feet, right? Okay, that's what I remember from
It's
the
a
last
20,
time.
no, it's a 22-foot.
Yeah, on this, on my itinerary it says 12 feet. so-
It is a 12-foot rear yard set, it's a 30-foot rear yard setback, the encroachment is 12 feet.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Correct, so.
22 feet was brought in here a couple of times, that's why I'm making sure to
Yes.
clarify that, okay.
No,
thank you.
we check the recorded plat, and the recorded plat identifies a 30-foot rear yard requirement.
Okay, thank you, Sergio.
Hi, good evening. Hi, I'm Nancy Frigo, and I am a realtor over at Coldwell Banker. I've been in the business 30 years. Also, in the past life, I was a developer, a builder too. Currently, right now, I'm working on some of the houses there in the preserves, as well as this past weekend, we hosted a parade of homes. So I was in contact with a few of the other realtors, to name Julie Urbanski, Sandra Dombrowski, and Brooke Baltima. Asked their opinion also what's going on. Currently, right now, Mr. Longoria's property is actually located right behind two of the houses that I sold when a builder I work with over there, Nicholas Michael Home, had built in the subdivision before. And actually, I was asked these questions, hey, what's going on behind there? There was no houses there yet, and there was the detention area or the retention area, and it's beautiful, beautiful. Actually, your lot is awesome, by the way. Anyway, but just to give you, I don't know what had happened last night. I apologize, I wasn't here to be here before, but as far as doing any kind of addition, I know the builder very well, that he built that, the one that built that house that he's in, because I recognize it just from the picture, because I know what they built. And as far as the square feet on the property at that time, and the price that he paid for the property, great. What he's looking to do is not unusual. I mean, I've sold tons of homes around St. John as well as in the area. And so if anything, it's going to add value to his home, which is going to be great. And I'm sure, the enjoyment for his family, but also no way in shape is that ever going to do any kind of negative for the neighborhood. If anything, we're excited about it. Even talking to the other realtors, it's not unusual to have an in-ground pool. It's not unusual to have an addition to a house, or furthermore, go up or out or any of that anywhere. As far as the distance to the yard line, I mean, there are several houses around there that some of the builders we work with, are pretty close, as far as even probably closer to some of the stuff with their pools and their concrete slabs and all that. So, I mean, we're not worried as realtors about anything. If anything, we're excited that, what I had seen, what they're looking to do. I think it's pretty cool. I also think it's great for the neighborhood, and so do some of the other neighbors too that, I had previously sold houses to. So, I mean, if you have any questions, I have all the statistics right here, for adding value to his house. Actually, it's going to be good for him, but also for the neighborhood. I mean, the average price houses right now that are selling in there are anywhere between, the median price is $765, and currently right now there's an offer on the table for $1,150,000, which is built by the previous builder who built his house. So that's pretty good. As far as the average houses right now in the market over there, the median price is $804,000. So I don't see what the problem is. I think it's awesome. The realtors are really excited about it. You could ask any one of them. I got a couple of messages from them too, if you want to see that. Really, if you have any opinions on value, if that's the case, no problem. I think it's awesome. I think if anything, congratulations on doing a nice job for the neighborhood. We really appreciate it. So any questions, holler.
Thank you.
So, I guess in summation on my end, we now supplemented the record with a petition that includes 8 signatures in and around that area which support the project. Additionally, we've just brought up a realtor with 30 years of experience talking about the effect of this project in and around the preserved subdivision area. We're of the opinion that this is a great project for St. John, and at this time, we'd like to answer any and all of your questions tonight.
Any questions for Mr. Swetnoff or Mr. Longoria? Have a seat, Mr. Swetnoff. Is there a gentleman in the audience, you have a comment you'd like to, no? Open for public comment? Nothing?
It's not open for public comment.
Thank you.
There's nobody online either?
No, this is not open for public comment.
public-
No,
I'm sorry,
public
I'm
comment
sorry.
was closed last month.
My bad. I apologize. Mr. Swetnoff, if you can step back up to the podium again, I apologize for that. Any questions regarding the petitioner's request? If not, I would entertain a motion.
This addition can't go up to the north and then to the east rather than to the south and to the west, therefore not going over the rear setback line? I mean, you're not asking for a foot or two. I mean, whatever the realtors, I mean, this is a substantial amount over rear setback line that we have for a reason. Setback lines are they're pretty set in stone.
I think the neighbors to both sides, though, have encroached on their rear setback. If you look at a Google Earth.
We haven't.
We can't
I mean,
speak
I've
to
been here
that.
for.
It's not been in
I
front
can't
of our.
speak for it, but I've been here for several years, and that would have had to come through us. Right?
Yeah, there's,
Anything, someone over rear setback line, we would have had to.
so what we could do is if the applicant or the petitioner is questioning addition to property owners, we can pull out those records and see what the approvals were and confirm that, whether they were done in violation. But my understanding is that they were approved and in compliance. So again, we can pull those records to find out, but we cannot do it this evening.
Why don't you answer Mr. Sheehan's question?
Gary Longoria at 12945 Red Lily Way. Aesthetically wise, it just looks, everything that our drawings wise that came up is the best drawing. That's kind of why we went along this route. And once again, this was me working with Sergio and Jack Slager, and my architects.
Any other questions for the petitioner?
I'll make the comment. I mean, I can appreciate what you're trying to do and what you're trying to accomplish as far as the addition and as far as the use and everything. I understand what you're trying to do. As far as looks go, I mean, that's in the eye of the beholder. What I understand, my issues and concerns are the amount that it's encroaching, and then also drainage issues, that it would not cause issues to the resident to the south of you or southeast.
I believe at the last meeting, I think Sheehan even said himself that he doesn't even believe drainage is going to be an issue on that side.
Well, there hasn't been any conclusive study on that, has there?
Saying what the board said.
Well, we're here for a variance tonight. We're not here for this.
But the variance is creating this situation that I think is
But
part of-
your own staff person has gone through, looked at the project and given his endorsement. You have the developer who's given his endorsement. You have the residents.
I want to,
I don't think Sergio's given an endorsement
I have
here.
not given an
He's doing his
endorsement.
job as far as getting you guys
Absolutely
prepared for
correct.
this. So the
You're
endorsement piece is a little
There
bit
has
stretched.
been, my role is to assist you in the process, and we were able to reduce the number of variances that were requested. Please do not confuse my professionalism for an endorsement.
Thank you, Sergio.
Wrong choice of words. My
And
apologies.
Sergio doesn't work for us. We're an independent board. We work in concert with him, so he's not our staff, just to make that clear as well.
To go back to the drainage, if you remember, I made the motion, but I had a stipulation on your patio on the south side of this proposed addition that it needs to be removed because the patio has a barrier retaining wall on the outside of it, and you're only given maybe 1 or 2 feet from the north of your property line to allow water to go to the southwest. You see those arrows? Those are the
Water flow.
hollow arrows. Those are water flow direction. So to eliminate that keeps water from
Yeah, we
going
didn't have a
into
problem
your
with that
basement.
pad behind us.
So I think that's what you were kind of talking about too with drainage.
Is there any way you can make amendments or revisions to this plan to where maybe the encroachment won't be as big? I mean, because there are legitimate concerns, and if you guys really want to proceed forward with this, perhaps there could be some type of compromise as to what you bring forward to us for presentation.
Which I have. I've got about 22 grand so far in different prints. We've had multiple drawings. We actually are approved right now for a pool to go basically almost a foot to my fence line. So aesthetically, this is once again why I want it to look like this, so it kind of flows the whole thing. I pretty much put concrete right up to my fence, you guys will let me. But I want it to look right. Does that make sense?
So I just want to correct something. The permit that Mr. Longoria is speaking of regarding the pool permit has expired. And the pool,
Expires, I think, on May 24th.
we'll double check those records,
I
but
just looked at it today.
But also, we want to confirm that the proposed drawing that he presented this evening is not what was submitted as a permit. So there's conflicts there as well.
Okay, thank you, Sergio. It looks a little larger than it was before.
Well, it's not exactly what was submitted for a pool permit.
Gotcha.
So,
I just look at the drawings, and my concern is this addition looks like a in-law suite to me. It's just so large, even say ensuite, so that's one of my concerns, other than what everyone else has mentioned here regarding drainage, the setback, et cetera. Does anyone else have any more other questions for the petitioner? Or Mr. Swetnoff?
I guess I'd just like to ask, maybe the attorney can help us. I mean, gosh, I am an attorney, but I'm oblivious to this. So if you can help me with the process. So the petitioners were here last time, and the petition was denied, and then we're here again, but there's no changes to the actual plan. So how does it work from a logistical standpoint? Like, what does the statute say in terms of they get to come back how many times and that kind of thing?
No, so, yeah, look, if I may, Mr. Chair, at the last meeting, there was a motion to approve the developmental variance. That motion failed because it did not garner 3 votes at the meeting. It was essentially a 2-3 vote. The Indiana Code is specifically 3674918.5 provides that a Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny variances from the development standards of the zoning ordinance. the board may impose reasonable conditions as part of the board's approval. A variance may be approved under this section only upon a determination in writing that, 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. 2, the use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. And 3, the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. Those standards mirror our zoning ordinance, and the applicant is required to essentially satisfy all 3 of those criteria in making the request for the variance. The reason we're meeting tonight is because there has been no affirmative vote of the Board of Zoning Appeals to either approve or deny the application. And so, in retrospect, perhaps that could have been considered at last meeting if there was going to be a separate motion to deny the variance, but that motion was never made and there was no vote taken on that. So typically, when the presentation is made to the Board of Zoning Appeals, the Board of Zoning Appeals will consider that and then make a motion to either approve or deny the application. That's not yet been done with regard to
So
this application.
because it failed last time, should we have made another motion at that time?
In retrospect, yes.
Okay.
If the motion to deny was made and was voted on accordingly with at least 3 votes, that would have been the action of the Board of Zoning Appeals
Okay.
to comply with the statute, which says a Board of Zoning Appeals shall approve or deny from the development standards this application, or any
Gotcha.
application.
And the motion has to mirror that, approve or deny.
Right, right, it must be a motion to approve and then a vote taken. If that doesn't pass, then it can consider a motion to deny, a vote taken, just depending on what the outcome of the vote is.
Okay, lessons learned.
Exactly.
That's all I wanted to know. It just,
Yeah,
I was
never-
a little bit
It
confused.
seems
as to
awfully
what-
strange, but
Yeah.
That's the first.
Thank you, Mr. Decker. Appreciate the clarification. Any other questions for anybody in the room, I suppose? Well, it's not open for public comment, sir. I'm sorry. What's that? We're not open for public comment.
I just, like I said, we have setback reasons for a reason, so I'm not gonna, this doesn't change my opinion, so I'm gonna make a motion to deny the application for variance for 12945 Red Lily Way, St. John, Indiana. I move to deny the application for variance from development standards. This motion is made after giving due consideration to record, including the statements presented by Attorney Joseph Svetnoff and the property owner Gary Longoria, and having paid reasonable regard to the Town of St. John's comprehensive plan, the site plan prepared by Glenn Cracked and Associates, recently dated February 10th, 2023. The drawings prepared by Wentz Designs for Longoria Family Addition. The architectural review prepared by Schilling Development dated February 15, 2023. The letter of remonstrance received from Stephen D. Miss and Mary Ann Miss, and the applicable provisions of the Indiana Code and the St. John Town Code. The applicant, Gary Longoria, has failed to establish the requested development variance satisfies all the required variance criteria. Those criteria require that the applicant establish each of the following. Approval will be not injurious to public health, safety, morals, comfort, and general welfare of the community. The use and the value of the area adjacent to the property included the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property. The applicant has failed to establish or otherwise provide any written evidence that the reduction of the rear yard setback required in the proposed addition and construction of the improvements will not adversely impact existing drains, stormwater drainage, and design of the subdivision. Furthermore, apart from Mr. Gore's statement, failed to establish. Finally, the applicant has failed to establish or otherwise provide any evidence that the strict application of the rear yard setback requirements contained within the zoning ordinance will result in any practical difficulties in the applicant's use of the property, such as, for example, the denial of the reasonable use of property as a single-family residence or some type of economic injury suffered by the applicant. The evidence indicates that the applicant will be allowed to construct an in-ground pool in the backyard of his property without the need for a variance. Accordingly, based on these findings, I move to deny the application of the variance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second it.
Roll call for vote, please.
Bob Rolson,
No.
Yolanda Cardona,
No.
Drago Popovic,
No.
Brandon Sheeran.
Denying, yeah.
That's the way we get.
Yeah, is that,
There may be some confusion.
Yes, exactly.
on
So,
what
is
what
this-
vote is being taken.
Right. So
So
vote for
just to
deny.
clarify, the motion is to deny the application.
So it's your
So
yes
it-
for denial, no for, not for.
Correct. So the appropriate vote was if you are in favor of the motion to deny, you should signify with yes or aye. If you are opposed to the motion to deny, you should vote no or nay.
Okay.
Can we redo that, please?
Can you go through the roll again,
Yeah,
please?
absolutely. Bob Rolson,
No.
Yolanda Cardona,
No.
Drago Popovic,
Yes.
Brandon Sheeran,
Yes.
Mark LaRue.
Yes. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
We do not have to move to deny again. This is done.
This is
right?
done.
Okay.
Next on the agenda is public comment. We're not open for public comment, correct?
It is a meeting,
Okay.
so technically you can, yes, I would say you may accept public
Open for
comment. at
public
the meeting.
comment. The gentleman who had the comments leaving, so I guess we're done with that. There's nothing else. We're adjourned.